The Dodge SRT Hellcat is not just a car, it is an act of defiance, a loud and unapologetic response to a world that keeps asking vehicles to be quieter, cleaner, and more reasonable. Because the Hellcat was never built to be reasonable. It was built to be remembered, to shake the ground, and to remind everyone what raw power feels like when engineers stop caring about limits and start caring about emotion. From the moment Dodge decided to place a supercharged 6.2-liter V8 under the hood, the automotive world knew something dangerous was coming, a machine that would blur the line between muscle car and supercar, while keeping the soul of old-school American madness alive. The heart of the Hellcat is its legendary HEMI V8, force-fed by a massive supercharger that screams like a mechanical demon every time the throttle is pressed, a sound so aggressive and so recognizable that it became part of the car's identity. Because this is not a refined or polite engine note, it is violent, raw, and emotional, and every burst of acceleration feels like an explosion waiting to happen. With over 700 horsepower available instantly, the Hellcat does not gradually build speed, it lunges forward, throwing the driver back into the seat while the rear tires fight desperately for grip, creating a feeling that borders on chaos yet remains strangely addictive. Acceleration in the Hellcat is not just about numbers, although the numbers themselves are shocking, reaching 60 miles per hour in just over 3 seconds and tearing through the quarter mile with factory-stock brutality. But what truly defines the experience is the way the power is delivered, sudden, overwhelming, and demanding respect. Because this car does not forgive careless inputs, it rewards confidence and punishes hesitation, turning every drive into a test of self-control. Visually, the Hellcat looks exactly the way it feels, aggressive, intimidating, and impossible to ignore, with a wide stance, muscular body lines, and functional hood scoops that serve a real purpose rather than cosmetic flair, feeding air to the beast beneath. The front end looks angry, almost predatory, as if the car is constantly ready to attack, while the wide-body versions push that presence even further, giving the Hellcat an almost cartoonish level of dominance on the road, the kind of car that commands space without asking permission. Inside, the Hellcat does not pretend to be a luxury cruiser, but it also refuses to be crude, blending modern technology with muscle car seriousness, wrapping the driver in supportive seats, thick steering wheels, and performance displays that turn raw data into adrenaline, showing boost pressure, horsepower output, G-forces, and lap times, making the driver feel less like a commuter and more like a pilot managing controlled destruction. Despite the madness under the hood, the car remains usable, with infotainment systems, climate control, and comfort features that allow it to function as a daily driver, which somehow makes its insanity even more impressive. On the road, the Hellcat feels alive, constantly communicating through vibrations, sound, and feedback, and while it can be softened through different driving modes, there is always a sense that the beast is waiting just beneath the surface, ready to be unleashed at any moment. The steering is heavy, the brakes are strong, and the suspension works hard to keep all that power in check. But ultimately, the Hellcat reminds you that it is built around an engine first and everything else second, a philosophy that modern cars have almost completely abandoned. What truly turned the Hellcat into a legend was not just its performance, but its cultural impact, as it became a symbol of excess, freedom, and mechanical rebellion, dominating drag strips, street races, car meets, and social media platforms, where its supercharger whine and tire-smoking launches turned into viral moments watched by millions. The Hellcat represented something emotional rather than logical, a car bought with the heart rather than the brain, and in doing so, it built a fan base that treated it less like a product and more like an icon. As the automotive industry moves toward electrification and silent speed, the Hellcat stands as one of the final, loud monuments to internal combustion excess, a reminder of a time when cars were allowed to be ridiculous, inefficient, and gloriously overpowered. Dodge knew this era would not last forever, and instead of slowly fading away, they chose to go out with noise, smoke, and fury, leaving behind a machine that will be remembered long after the roads become quiet. The Dodge SRT Hellcat is not perfect. It's heavy, thirsty, and unapologetically excessive. But that's exactly why it matters, because it exists to make people feel something real in a world that is becoming increasingly artificial. It's a car that does not chase approval or trends. It chases adrenaline, fear, and excitement. And in doing so, it earns its place in automotive history as more than just a muscle car, but as a symbol of an era that refused to go quietly into the future.